actually a common mistake. My name is actually Maya, but it's spelled like Mia. But everybody calls me Mia, so it's okay. Being honest, when I walked in here and I'm seeing all you guys dressed like this, and I looked at myself and I'm like, oh, wow, maybe I should have put a little more strings on me or something. But then I kind of felt like I belonged because I had this cool headband, so it's okay. So I was diagnosed with a brain tumor when I was age 5. I don't remember much of it, but I know it affected my family very greatly because my mom and dad, they had to come up to Spokane with me at the Children's Hospital, and they had to stay there with me through that whole time. I was there the whole 2 weeks. And also, during the time when I was in the hospital, all of my relatives would come visit me constantly, like bringing me stuffed animals and all these pillows, which I still have some of. And it just it made me feel a little bit better knowing I was in their minds and everything. And then on my surgery day, close to my whole family was there on that day, the whole 12 hours I was in surgery. So they were thinking of me, so that made me feel really good when I found out that they did that. But what I do remember that next year when I was 6 was going to Camp Journey and going into day camp. And I was unbelievably nervous that day because I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I didn't know how they were going to treat me or how, if I would make friends or not. But then after that whole day, I had so many friends. I had all these counselors talking to me and like we were old-time friends or something, you know? And I just loved it. After that one day, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to start staying overnight like I saw all these other kids. And then the cool thing about this camp is when that next year, when I turned 7 and started staying overnight, I got to bring my brother Garrett, and he went for 7 years and made it all the way through being an LIT, a leader in training. And then last year, I started bringing my sister Lily, and I know she loved it because, well, she wants to go back again. And it's just a really cool thing, I think. And I'm not done I got more. And then leading into that, the counselors there are just amazing, amazing people. They will stay with you that whole week, and they'll chat with you and talk with you. If you're feeling sad, they will listen to you and help you through that, and then they make you feel safe. They make you feel like you belong there. And I have so many counselors there that I know. Some have stopped going, but I've made a lot of new friends with the counselors. They're just amazing people. And then they make it so fun because each year we have a theme, and they can range from outer space to Dr. Seuss, like it was last year, which was one of my favorites. And they can be so crazy, wearing all these cool little necklaces or headbands or whatever. And then at these dances that we have each year also on one night, they'll be wearing these crazy little costumes you've never probably seen any other person wear in public. And me and my sister last year, we went as Thing 1 and Thing 2. I was Thing 1 because it made sense to me, but not to her. Kind of had a little fight over it, but I won. And it was cool because because last year, Dr. Seuss, so many people were just in either Thing 1 or Thing 2 costumes, or just had this wacky hair or something, and just it was all poofed up, or I don't know, just crazy. And then from the dance, it goes into other activities as well. For one, swimming is probably one of the most favorited out of all of them because it's just it cools you off because it gets so hot that week. And then you also have to take a swimming test. Now, that's to make sure if you need a life jacket or not, but during day camp, that was the only year I needed a life jacket because when I turned 7, I was a pretty good swimmer. And there's also 2 really challenging activities, I think, is the rock wall and the ropes course, as you saw in the video. The rock wall is this massive, massive tower, and I remember when I was 7, I only made it up halfway and just wanted to get right back down because it's so high. And then that next year, I made it up and rang the bell twice. And when I got back down, I looked up and I'm like, oh, I did that. So it was so cool. But then the ropes course, that's a little bit more interesting because I kind of cried on it the first time. But like, they have so many obstacles you have to do, and then you get down from it, and like, it's a bigger achievement because there's like so many hard obstacles, like rolling across with a skateboard or walking on these wooden blocks attached with ropes attached to it. So it's kind of hard, but it's still really fun. And then that activity comes a very bittersweet one to everybody, is the last campfire. Now, though that is a pretty emotional time because you reflect on that week and you talk about what your favorite activity was or how much fun you had and how much you're gonna miss it. And I always talk about like how much I'm gonna miss everybody because the friendships there are just amazing. All the friends you make and everything. Like, I have so many friends that I've made since day camp until now, the 9 years I've been there. And I also had this one friend, Leilani. She was my friend ever since I started staying the night, and me and her have just become closer and closer, and I love that also. But then you look forward to seeing them each year until there's that one year that you don't see them because you lost them. I recently lost a friend more than a year ago, and she was one of my friends I made from day camp, and she was like one of my best friends, and I still miss her a lot. But it's a friendship I wouldn't trade for the world because that's how close we were. And I'm almost done, don't worry. I lost it. Oh well. So just this camp, I'm just so happy. I'm so grateful I get to go to this camp each year. I'm so happy I've gotten into it every time I apply for it, because in January I'll be asking if an application came and I'll be bugging my mom about it until she's filled it out and it's sent off. And then when it comes back in, I'll bug her even more about like getting all like the supplies we need for it until I have everything. So I'm pretty kind of crazy about it. But so this camp is just wonderful. I think it's just a break from the world, and kids like us, it's just, we don't have to worry about what kind of sickness we have. We feel safe there. We feel like we belong here. It's the one place where we think we belong. So thank you, everybody.